Welcome to another episode of Uncorked at the Carfagna's headquarters off of Gemini. I am Boxer, one of the co-hosts every week, along with the main guy here, that's Sal Carfagna. Sal, welcome back. We are talking, Deli today, right? We're talking meats and cheeses.
We're talking deli meats, baby. All of them. Cut that cheese. Slice that meat. Remember that Peyton Manning commercial?
Yeah, exactly.
Slice that meat.
If there's one thing, if you've been listening to all the episodes, if there's one thing you may have noticed by now, is no one is better at TV and movie quotes than Sal Carfagna.
I don't know. I don't think you've met the rest of my family, so I'm good. I'm not the best.
So, Sal, this week we're focusing on the deli and meats and cheeses, and specifically because there's something big happening in the month of August. It's back to school time.
That's right. It is back to school time. We have a huge sale going on. Our Deli Super Sale is going on this week. So by the time this airs, I'm sorry, folks, that sale will pass. However, for the rest of the month and going into September especially, we will be having some deli sales going on to help families in that back-to-school period.
Oh, I like that. And just a reminder, too, that the Uncorked podcast, of course, you might be listening already on the iHeartRadio app. You can get the visual version of this on the Carfagna's YouTube channel, too. So you can get it both sides, maybe in the car, you're listening to the audio video sometime on your own. Maybe you're sitting on the couch. But I bring up your YouTube channel because you have a whole array here of different types of meats. And I don't know when you want to go through that, Sal, if it's now or later. But I just want to say they look delicious.
They are. A lot of them are imported. We do have some of our local turkey breasts that are here. And we can go through it right now. I mean,
okay.
You guys who are watching this live on camera, you can see the beautiful little array that we got going on. To my right here is one of our cheese and deli associates, a very, very fine person indeed. This is Katie Greenslade. Katie is Michelle, who we have met for the Parmageddon episode.
Yeah, she was great,
Michelle
by the way.
is our head cheesemonger. She's the director of our cheese and deli department.
Yeah.
And Katie is her right-hand girl, right? So Katie is here. She's going to be helping explain some of these things. And before we get into that,
something's missing.
Something's missing. What is this called? What's the podcast called?
It's called Uncorked. So I'm waiting for
there
a little
noise.
Oh no! It broke.
That's a first on this podcast.
Tragic.
It felt a little dry. I was nervous. I was like, oh boy, I hope this wine's good.
Boy,
and I really hope this wine's good because this is the wine. There's a reason why we chose this wine. This wine is going to be drank at my sister's wedding, which is this Saturday.
This Saturday?
This Saturday.
So is she getting married here locally then? In Columbus?
She is. She's getting married here locally at the Italian church at St. John the Baptist.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's a beautiful church. I've been there for a wedding.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice. Do we need a drill?
No. God, no, Boxer. But I'm taking my time.
That's the Boxer way. Just give a drill and get it out of there.
Just push it through.
Hey! Sal Carfagna saves the day.
And we did a tutorial on how to uncork a broken cork.
I'm telling you, I was just talking to Michael, who's a part of this account now. You learn something every month with a new episode of Uncorked.
Don't panic. Just go right back in, drill that cork back through, and then come back over on top of it.
So this specific wine, can you get this in your wine shop? I'm assuming.
Come on, Boxer.
Well, I know.
How many times we got to go through this?
Just double checking.
This wine is called, the type of wine is Montepulciano di Abruzzo.
Say that one more time.
Montepulciano di Abruzzo. This is...
Yeah, Katie, you're drinking too.
All right.
That is the name of the grape. And this is from the Abruzzo region in Italy, which is where the Carfagna hometown is, of Vaso Girardi. It's also the hometown of my sister's future husband, Edgar Conchelmo and the Conchelmo family. They're from Atessa, which is in the Abruzzo region. Montepulciano di Abruzzo. This is the wine that we're going to be drinking at the wedding.
Okay.
This is Colle Maggio. I got some notes here from Raj. He tells me a little bit about it, but he is a wealth of knowledge as he is, right?
Yes.
So this wine is considered one of the most suitable hills of the cultivation wines in that region. This guy right here, this Torre Zambra bottle. We have 100% Montepulciano di Abruzzo grapes in this. All right. It is going to be a dry wine, dry red wine. You're going to have, nose is intense, if you can give it a nice little smell here.
Yeah, let's do this. By the way, Sal,
Wild berries and tobacco. Those are the notes. Let's see if we hit them. Let's see if we can hit them.
Okay. Well, tell me when I can start tasting this. I can down this. By the way, is dry what you would want, or maybe it just depends on the person, is dry what you would want with the meats and cheeses type of, I don't want to say meal, but if you're snacking, is dry considered the best to use for that, or?
You're talking about the wine pairing. The deli array of foods in the deli department is so vast.
Yeah.
Right? There is a ton of stuff, all different flavors. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, yes, Montepulciano di Abruzzo is going to be the perfect wine to pair with this stuff. Like, Montepulciano di Abruzzo is going to pair fantastic with, like, sopressata, salami.
Okay.
Maybe even, like, a spicy sopressata, right?
It would
Yeah.
really nicely with the spice.
I think that it would pair well with maybe even, because it is dry, it is intense. It's an intense wine. Maybe even something softer like a mortadella, right? Or a mortadella sandwich.
Yeah.
Nice big hunk of fresh mozzarella on there, some arugula, nice tomato. Oh, man, we could have been making it.
You make me hungry, man.
Could have made it.
Man.
We should have brought in a mortadella sandwich for the episode.
Every episode, it's like this.
But we just
Like,
talked
we're
about
hungry.
it, right? This is what you do. Get yourself a good ciabatta, all right? Nice little ciabatta loaf. Get yourself some thinly sliced mortadella. We got that big hunk of it, that big chub right there.
Yeah, there it is.
We're going to taste some of the mortadella here. Mortadella is from the Bologna region in Emilia-Romagna. Bologna is spelled just the way that we spelled bologna. Guess what the original bologna was? It was mortadella. We took that style, and the American bologna of what we have is very, very similar to Italian mortadella. But there's a few differences. Katie.
Yeah. So most mortadellas, particularly the Italian ones, they have a really lovely silky texture that you get. They also have peppercorns, and most of them have pistachios, which pairs really nicely with a lot of the other meats and cheeses that you would have with it in a sandwich. So those are some of the distinctions. Sometimes you get like some garlic and herb flavors in there occasionally, but it's really just set apart from like American bologna with the texture.
Yeah,
Definitely pretty versatile too. Go ahead, Boxer.
Oh, sorry. Katie, what do you tell customers like when they ask, well, Katie, what's your favorite? What do you recommend? And maybe it just depends on what the customer likes too.
That's true. I sort of tell folks, I'm like, well, if you're looking for the great grandfather of bologna, kind of the OG traditional one, we would go for the Italian brand, which is the Leoncini that we have.
There it is,
right over
too.
here.
That's a monster.
Oh yeah,
Sure is.
Dude, whoa.
yeah, with the lovely green label over here.
Yeah.
And that one in particular, it tends to have more peppercorns in it, I've noticed, than some of our other offerings that we have, and I think the texture tends to be a little more subtle.
Yeah.
We're talking about it. Let's just go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you're
There
going
we
to
go.
go. Now, which one is this?
So that one.
This is the Leoncini mortadella.
Yeah.
Mortadella, okay? Ready? Oh, yes. Yes. More, please.
Yeah. And this one, you traditionally cut it really, really thin. You can get it almost see-through, and it has that really lovely texture. But also, some folks just hunk it and then use it for like a fried bologna sandwich.
Yes, and I was about to say, mortadella is versatile. It is versatile, folks. You can buy it in the chub. We got a little bit smaller chubs of this Leoncini, and you can cut like a really big wedge of it, really thick wedge of it, and fry it almost like, and you'll have like a mortadella fried bologna sandwich as you would like cutting like a real thick slab of like bologna. Fantastic with that. Put a nice little hot mustard on there, right?
Oh,
put it on like a slider bun or something like that. It's absolutely fantastic. Or slightly thin it. You can still fry it sliced thinly. The famous Italian sandwiches, and they're one's going viral with the viral pistachio spread. Have you seen?
I have.
The pistachio spread just going wild right now.
Yes.
It's been flying off our shelves because people are trying to recreate chocolate bars with it. The other thing that you can do with pistachio spread is a mortadella sandwich. Take a nice piece of Italian loaf, smaller loaf, Italian round, or a ciabatta.
Yeah.
And then you're going to fill that with just thinly sliced mortadella. Just pile it all high on there. And then you're going to take that pistachio spread and you're going to just pour it all over it. Then get yourself a big old chunk of fresh mozzarella and tear it all up, put that on there, and just go to town. That's it. Maybe a little olive oil on there, a little bit of sea salt, but less is more. And if you ever like look at Italian recipes or whatnot, they're always very, very simple.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite sandwiches is to omit the pistachio spread, go with fresh arugula on top, and then hit it with a little olive oil and then balsamic glaze.
Yeah, that's...
And always a fresh tomato on that. Beautiful, beautiful, big old hunk of fresh tomato. And that right there is a mortadella sandwich.
That sounds like a home run.
Yeah.
What about you, Katie?
Oh, well, also, if we're talking about viral mortadella sandwiches, I'm sure you guys have seen Anthony Bourdain's mortadella sandwich on the internet.
Tell me.
Oh, man.
Tell me more.
So,
Dimi, as the Italians say.
I think it was from one of his No Reservations episodes. And so I believe it was in Brazil. They're big on mortadella in Brazil also.
Okay.
So it was, I think, either a Kaiser roll or just like a nice crusty roll. And you like put good grain mustard on one side, and I think mayonnaise on the other side. I think my mom and I did like a garlic aioli. Very, very good.
Bougie,
you know. And then you cut the mortadella really, really thinly, and you get like a nice hot skillet with a little bit of butter or oil in it, and you kind of pile it up, and then you steam it. And so the bottom gets crispy and the top gets nice and steamed. Pop some good sharp provolone, which we've got some of that over here too.
Yeah.
On top, let it get melty, and then you just like put it all together, and it's this juicy, fatty, rich, just like amazing sandwich.
God.
Yummy.
So good.
Yummy.
So good.
And I know that...
Are listeners hearing that?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Katie has, she has some of these just unique little like flavor pairings with all the cheese and the deli stuff. And she'll be like, okay, so last night I tried like this and this and that.
Oh, yeah.
Or like the, what is like the cheese with the pine needles that's like super soft. It's almost like, it's like queso in like a block of cheese. And you guys were like, remember what I'm talking about? Michelle was saying it, but she was saying that you guys were eating it the night before.
The Harbison.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a spruce bark belt on it.
Spruce bark belt.
Yeah. So
I've never heard of that. What is
cut
that?
You cut the top of it, and it is so soft that it almost looks like it's like queso.
Yeah.
And you can just dip things in there.
Yeah, Harbison.
And they're like, get like French fries, you can get crackers, you can get pretzels, and it's just like...
I did pickle fries with it one time. It's really good. Yeah.
It's just...
I'm so glad you guys are talking about that because I was curious. I'm a bread or crackers guy to go with the meats and the cheeses. What's the Italian culture? Does in Italy, does it call for that stuff too? Because some places it's a no crackers, no bread with that. But what about the Italians?
Yeah, I think that the Italians, as far as when it comes with crackers and whatnot, you see more fresh bread than you would like crackers. Like obviously, yes, or they would have some type of like a breadstick or like a flat, crostini, or maybe even just like a flat cracker. And we have tons of Italian imported crackers here, and you can see what kind of like it's a lot more simpler than like our like everything bagel cracker, right?
Yeah.
But like this, what we're seeing right now, this is like the traditional like Italian breakfast.
Okay.
Breakfast.
Oh, breakfast.
This is what they're gonna have. They're gonna have like a little bit of fresh fruit. They'll have like a little bit of prosciutto, charcuterie, and
I could handle this
fresh
for
bread.
breakfast.
Of course you could.
Could definitely handle that. You're listening to Uncorked. I am Boxer along with Sal Carfagna and Katie. Katie works in the deli department, right? Is that
She's in
right?
Deli.
So, Katie, I have a question. You're probably the perfect person to ask about this. We were talking about back to school. Families like mine loving to go to the deli, the Carfagna's Deli, and get the meats. The one question I've never asked you guys is, how can we maximize the life of your deli products? Like, what's the lifespan, and is there anything you can do at home to keep it to last longer?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways to go about that. So we have the opportunity to freshly slice all of our products, but then we also vacuum seal many of them.
Okay.
So if you're looking for something that's really good and fresh and you need a certain amount and you're going to eat it in the next few days, getting it freshly cut is fabulous. But also, because we vacuum seal it, that very intensely prolongs the life of the product, especially some of the cured meats like the salamis and the prosciuttos. They can go up to a month if you vacuum seal them. And so that does a really good job.
And you can vacuum seal at your home if you get like a food saver.
Really? You can vacuum seal at your house?
You ever heard of a food saver? A food saver is like a little tabletop vacuum sealing machine.
Okay.
It is not like those big commercial ones that we have that
Sure.
are like 15 seconds and you're just going.
Yeah.
But they sell like I know that Target has them and other retailers.
Okay.
You can get them on Amazon. But it's there is a brand called Food Saver, and then there's tons of other other brands that they have.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing. It is a 13-inch by 4-inch little vacuum machine that sucks air out of these packages while also having a little heat seal band on it. So you get a bag that they have, and they have specific bags that work on specific machines, which drives you nuts, but I know it is the way that it is. And then you'll put your product in there. I wouldn't keep like high moisture products in there, like your fresh turkeys.
Okay.
Other like high moisture items, but like your dried meats, your salamis, majority of your Italian meats, you're going to be able to vacuum seal them, and they will prolong the shelf life on there because you're reducing the oxygen that is in those packages.
Yeah.
Put them in there, put it in the machine. Machine sucks all the air out, and then it heat seals it while it is there, and then that is the vacuum seal. You can see all of these products have something very, very similar on them, right? And those are all a vacuum sealed package that is reducing the oxygen into them. Still needs to be refrigerated, all of that, but that is a way of preserving them. Other items, you can freeze some things. And again, I wouldn't freeze high moisture content items.
Sure.
I wouldn't freeze high moisture content cheeses like mozzarella. But you can definitely freeze some other items as well to prolong them as well. Anytime that you freeze something, anytime, fresh meat, whatever, you're adding moisture into it, because that moisture is penetrating into there. The water molecules are freezing, they're expanding into them. When you pull it out, all of that water expels out, right?
Okay.
So you are now like reducing the quality content of whatever product you have.
Are you I'm sorry if this is a dumb question, but I'm learning as I go here now. Are you vacuum sealing every time after you use the product again, after you open it up?
But it's kind of redundant. This is a way to be like, okay, hey, this salami we're eating this week. This one we're going to eat next week. We're going to vacuum seal this one for next week.
You have to plan it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there's a good sale,
it's a food saver.
Yeah.
You're saving the food, right?
Right.
So that's kind of like the thought process.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
But you can absolutely freeze some other items as well. I know that, my mom has frozen Genoa salami in our freezers when we were kids before. And just a way to, again, prolong it. Hey, there's a great sale going on. I'm going to go there and I'm going to stock up, and I'm going to freeze this, and then we'll come out and we'll eat it later. So, to answer your question in a long roundabout way,
there we go.
Absolutely.
So and I get it, it's going to depend on the children, but like my son Max, very picky. I make his lunch. Are there meats for kids that can last longer than others when you're making school lunches?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, of course, ham and turkey we think are, sort of some of the more classic American deli meats. And those do well for maybe a week, week and a half, particularly if you just have it in a deli meat bag. I find most kids really do enjoy salamis. They think it's kind of fun. It's a fun shape.
Especially when you roll it up like this.
I know.
Some kids, like my daughter in pre-K, she calls them salami roll-ups. And it's just rolled up salami slices, and, sometimes, like, we don't even make a sandwich for her. She prefers this over a sandwich. So, some days when we pack up her school lunch, it's just salami roll-ups. You might put like a mozzarella cheese stick or whatnot in there.
And we do that at our counter. We have different roll-ups.
Let's go through some of these. We were talking about the turkey.
By the way, the salami's winking at me. May
Absolutely.
I? Okay, perfect.
So part of our deli super sale, this is $1 off a pound this week. This is $8.99 a pound. This is our Genoa salami.
Hey, can I try that cheese too?
Yes, sir. The cheese is that is going to be your aged provolone. That's a sharp provolone that's on there.
3. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
That provolone also we were mentioning goes really well with that Leoncini mortadella. Genoa salami is a style of salami, right? We have another one that we're kind of showing off here. This is going to be, this actually has some truffle in it, so that's a truffle salami, but this brand of salami here is more of a traditional way to create the salami. And we'll get into more of like that styles and whatnot when we talk about prosciutto here in a little bit. But when it comes to like deli meat, there's salami, and then there's the salami Toscano.
There's salami and then salami Toscano,
right? Genoa is a region in Italy. Toscano is a region in Italy, and they make their salamis all different ways. And this is the style of salami that the Tuscans do. It's got the white mold all over it too.
Why do they make it that way? Sorry, why?
It's a great question. And here's the thing: is that in the entire country of Italy, they all do things so differently. They talk differently. They drink different wines. They eat different foods. Every single region, every single town, from town to town, is so vastly different, almost to the point where it's like, and I don't know how much of Italian history you know, but before they were unified, and Italy is a younger country than the United States. People forget that, right? Garibaldi unified them after our own Civil War.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It's crazy, right?
Series of
they all used to be a series of city-states, and each little city-state, there was the Kingdom of Sicily, there was the Kingdom of Florence. They had kingdoms where all their regions were, and it wasn't until Garibaldi came and unified them all, and drove out the what would they call them, the feudal lords, I guess.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Sounds right. Lack of better terms, but the individual city-states that were wanting to keep their way of life. Fascinating topic, and for those of you who are listening that are history buffs, go in and read it. There's a ton of books, and there's a ton of stuff. The Leopard is a book that I would recommend that goes into it. It actually goes into a family, talks about the family that is on the other side of Garibaldi's side, that is fighting Garibaldi, but it kind of takes you behind the scenes on that type of approach. Fantastic book. The Leopard goes into very detailed, almost like that, Italian history, but at the same time, nonfiction and fun. Okay.
Next month's episode, we're going to talk about
the
Roman
books.
Empire.
Yeah, right.
It's one of my favorites.
They're all over. And so here, let's go to prosciutto next. Let's talk about prosciutto.
There we go.
Prosciutto, we have 2 different styles, actually 3 if you count the domestic U.S. prosciutto. But in Italy, there are 2 different main styles of prosciutto. There's prosciutto di Parma, which a lot of people know and hear of, Emilia-Romagna region. It is the sibling to Parmigiano Reggiano, right? Those are the 2 famous foods that come out of Parma, Italy. This is a DOP product here, just like the Parmigiano Reggiano wheel that has all the different stamps.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This has the own DOP stamps as well. where the Parmigiano Reggiano has that brand of Parmigiano Reggiano prosciutto di Parma. It actually has a little crown. It's on the back side of this this leg. It has a crown, and it says Parma in the crown. It's awesome, you know. Be a cool tattoo, right? For those of you prosciutto lovers.
Yeah.
I'm DOP, baby.
Got an idea now. Getting an idea of my forearm.
Yeah, right.
Just a little brand on there.
Just a quick Parma brand for life. But prosciutto di Parma, I learn stuff every day, right? There's prosciutto di Parma, and then there's prosciutto di San Daniele. San Daniele prosciutto and Parma prosciutto are very different, and here's why. And we'll go ahead and start tasting some as we're talking, Boxer.
Okay.
The prosciutto di Parma is over here. Why don't you start
one
with
right
this
here?
one?
Okay.
Yeah. Start with that prosciutto di Parma. Softer product, okay? Less saltier product. There's a higher moisture content in there. It's 100% cured. So when I say a higher moisture content, it is nowhere. It's not moist, but it's less dry than the San Daniele, and that is because
It's perfect, I think.
I do too. They hang dry it completely. They pack it with salt and they keep the skin on. They hang dry it, where the San Daniele prosciutto is actually pressed. And they press the hams together when they cure them, so it has more of that squared block look to it of the leg, whereas this one is more rounded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And by pressing it, salt penetrates the prosciutto more. So you get a saltier product. You get a drier product. But not only that, San Daniele is from the Friuli Venezia Giulia region, which is on the very, very north part of Italy, all the way east, north of, that's where like Venice and all of that is. It's where north of the Adriatic Sea. The air there, you're on the foothills of the Dolomites. So it's much drier air. So that drier air actually produces a drier prosciutto as well.
That plays a factor into the taste.
And then here's the San
incredible.
Daniele prosciutto
Okay.
there as well. So go ahead and try that one
All right,
next.
this one here, right? Okay.
Yep.
Both of them are DOP,
All right.
designation of origin.
Try a little cheese with that.
Here are the other differences. Different breed of hogs. Each one has their own heritage breed from those regions, and they are different breeds. They also eat different foods. The prosciutto di Parma, the hogs that make prosciutto di Parma, this is another fascinating fact. They eat the whey from Parmigiano Reggiano.
Lucky pigs.
Lucky pigs.
Pigs.
They're eating that. And it says it creates this fattier product that is softer, right? It produces that. Now, the pigs up in the Dolomites, they are also eating whey, but they're also actually eating premium grains that grow on the foothills up there as well.
Yeah.
And that produces a more unique flavor from the Parma. So prosciutto di Parma, softer product, less saltier. It is more sweet, right? Where the San Daniele prosciutto is going to be a drier product. It's going to be a saltier product. It is going to be, I guess, a little bit more like nutty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. It's got.
I feel like
nutty
it's
notes.
slightly harder to tear, or am I wrong on that?
It's a drier product.
It's a dry, so it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
As I'm
Yeah.
in eating and talking.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have waited. No.
Right? How dare you?
this is-
There's never any waiting when it comes to prosciutto.
Yeah, exactly. These are all great products, and on a side note, you can get these all at Carfagna's. Quick question: how long does it take those in Italy to have them shipped here? These kind of meats.
The importing process is a very, very lengthy topic, and I think that we may have to cut
that's
that to
fine.
another episode.
Yeah, we can do a part 2 later for sure.
But it is a very long process, right?
Yeah.
You have to ship it across an ocean. Not only that, you have to export it first. It has to go through the export process.
Yeah.
And then it needs to go through the import process,
Yep.
right? And then it has to get on a truck after it gets into the port and come over here to Columbus, Ohio. You're talking a month,
Yeah.
easily from the time that it leaves wherever it's being in Italy. If it was like fast tracked, I'm sure that it could be different. You have the Rickenbacker Airport, which is the largest non-sea, the inland port in the U.S. So I'm sure that you could expedite that process by getting some shipped to Rickenbacker. Or you can just come to Carfagna's and buy some.
There you go.
There we go.
And speaking of which, as we wrap up this episode of Uncorked with, school going back into session, obviously the Carfagna's Deli and cheese area is the perfect place to go and get your deli and delicious products from there. And
so, folks, we have our pan-roasted turkey. That's on sale for $6.99 this week. That mortadella that we were just showing, that's $6.99 a pound this week. Our Carfagna's baked ham is another product, fantastic product, that is $6.99 a pound. And these products aren't going to jump up in pricing. We're going to inch those back up as we get longer into the school year.
Okay.
Other stuff that we have that's very unique, apart from all of this stuff, we get a lot of questions about guanciale. And guanciale is, I'm sure you've heard of smoked jaw before, right? That they put in the baked beans and whatnot. But
oh, there it is.
Exactly what.
Oh, yeah.
Good catch, Katie. That is exactly what. We can set that guy down. We're wrapping up. But guanciale is pork jaw that is dry cured instead of smoked. And this is how the Italians do it. This is a whole piece of it, which is really, really cool to see. I have customers who actually buy this entire thing, and they save it. They vacuum seal it themselves, and they save it. It is a dry cured product. It will last quite a long time. This is the main ingredient for carbonara, folks. This is it. And pasta alla gricia, which is not as much well known, but omit the eggs, and you got pasta alla gricia. And guanciale is a fantastic product, packed with flavor. Super fatty product. When you render it down, it just gets these nice little crispy bits that use as a garnish. Perfect for, like I said, for carbonara. You can actually just slice it up and eat it as is. It is a ready-to-eat product as well. So Katie's like, but it is. It's dry cured, and you can definitely eat it. It is less known for that, but believe me when I say that I've had it before. Fantastic. This fat on there is super, super soft. If you ever had a lardo before, this is very similar to a lardo. But you also get some heavier seasoning and some nice meat as well in there as well.
All
right.
So Carfagna's has guanciale, folks. We get a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, because
we
it's
have
really hard to find.
we have a few brands of it as well, and a few brands as well of pancetta.
Well, and a good go-to is just carfagnas.com. Whether you want to see the weekly ad or you want to check out some of the meats that we were talking about here, deli-wise. So, Katie, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate that. It was very enlightening. Did you want to hit the wines one more time for the...
Yeah, okay, folks. So the Montepulciano di Abruzzo, the Colle Maggio. This is available. Both of them are available at Carfagna's Wine Shop. Fantastic wines, super dry, packed with flavor, come at a great value. Both of these bottles are going to be at most $25 or under. Great table wines all around: pizza, pasta, dry cured meats, lasagnas, grilled meats, and then this Martimirio. This is actually the winery that we will be visiting when we go to Italy. So this is really close to the Concelmo family's hometown in Atessa, and we're going to meet the families on our next Italy trip when we go there, and my sister gets married in Italy. And so we're going to go there. We're going to visit this winery. This bottle is one of my dad's favorites. He always has this bottle at his home. So very cool. Nice little plug there for both of these wines. Neighboring families, right? They know each other, all that kind of stuff.
That's great.
It's a very small world, okay? And when you're making the same grapes and you're making all that kind of stuff, that's how it is. So you guys can try out these wines. They are absolutely fantastic. They also go really, really well with smoked meats, barbecue, American barbecue. Both these wines are. And here's a nice little fun fact. So I mentioned my sister's getting married in Italy. She's also having a marriage celebration here in Columbus. And some of the Italians are coming from Italy to America.
Oh, wow.
And we asked them, okay, so like for the rehearsal dinner, we normally do like lasagna and Italian green beans and, Italian roasted chicken, whatever. You know, so like, what do you guys want to eat? Do you want to eat more of the same? And they're like, no, we want to eat American barbecue.
There we go.
Wait, when someone in the family of Carfagnas is getting married, like your sister, are you catering it? How does that
yes,
work?
Of course.
I figured you were, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, yes.
That'd be a lot of pressure if you weren't, and if it was someone from the outside.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
we do it.
Yeah,
of course
no,
we do.
I was just curious. So
Our staff has been working on this wedding for weeks.
Oh, wow, that's
they're
incredible.
They're chomping at the bit to get out there.
So then our next episode, then the September episode,
Sure.
when it finally drops, we'll be talking about what your trip. Safe to say, maybe.
Yeah, well, we can talk
Yeah.
about the trip. We can talk about the American barbecue extravaganza. We're gonna
There you go.
blow the Italians' minds. They're like, well, we know we get ribs, and I'm like, believe me, you're gonna get ribs. You're also gonna get brisket. You're gonna get pork shoulder. You're gonna get wings, sausage. You're
I
gonna
love
get
it.
collards. We're making cornbread. We got local corn that we're putting on the grill.
That's right.
We got watermelon. We're gonna soak some watermelon and vodka for them. I mean, they're gonna get the full American barbecue experience. Cornhole on the side.
Oh, that's great.
Keg beer out there.
That's right. That's American right there.
And then for
I love
dessert, s'mores.
There we go. All right.
They had no idea what s'mores were. Blew their
didn't?
mind.
Oh.
They were like, s'mores, graham cracker with the marshmallow. Like, you take a marshmallow and you put it over the fire. Yes. Like,
Hey.
you know what? We'll just show you. We'll
We'll demo it for you. Yeah.
I have another one, my little concoction for the s'mores. If you want to substitute the graham crackers, use the Keebler fudge stripe cookies.
Of course, man.
I'm telling you. Freeze them, and then
Ooh.
you have that melting marshmallow. Yeah, I'm the king of sweets. So.
You heard it here, people.
And just a reminder, too, you can also join the wine club here at Carfagna's, carfagnas.com. Of course, you might be listening to this episode on the iHeartRadio app. There's the video version. You can hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, too. But this has been a great podcast episode. I look forward to hearing about your trip and, of course, the wedding that's coming up, too, on the next episode.
Absolutely.
So, Katie, thank you.
Katie,
and
thank you for joining.
Thank you guys so much.
Sal, thank you, as always. You're an awesome co-host. And, Sal, why don't you close it out?
Thank you, Boxer. Everybody, mangia bene.